Welcome back to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. Today, I'm once again joined by Jacco from the Kooij, from Winning by Design. In this episode, we dive into how AI-native SaaS will reshape pricing, freemium, and go-to-market strategy in 2026. We discuss why usage-based pricing isn't a silver bullet for AI products, how rising AI costs challenge freemium models, and why subscription pricing remains essential but with smarter hybrid elements. Jacco also explains how AI will drive efficient growth, replace 70% of sales tasks, and why founders must rethink team structure, human expertise, and the role of advocacy in generating pipeline. So if you're just starting out or scaling a B2B SaaS, like this episode, and Jacco always gives like super clear insights and frameworks on how to actually go about it. So I would definitely listen to the episode. So let's just dive right in. Right in, welcome to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. Well, welcome back. Can you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do, Jacco?
Hey, my name is Jacco van der Kooij. I'm the founder of Winning by Design.
Quick intro. Well, let's dive in. We're going to talk about 2026. What do you think will separate the SaaS companies that successfully scale in 2026 versus ones that don't?
One of the key differentiators, key characteristics of success are going to be the real-time data-based infrastructure that they have. And what do I mean with that? I mean the ability to analyze on a cohort all the way down to one user, what they use, why are they successful, and so on and so forth. Very PLG-like.
And do you mean, I guess, who shows the best intent to buy, to upgrade?
We're looking for usage patterns. What is the output that they want? What is the outcome that they want to achieve, and are they achieving that? And with that, what we notice that AI natives do really well is that they use that in order to generate new pipeline, those happy users. And where does that come from? Well, it cannot be a surprise that all of us are overwhelmed with email and text messages and LinkedIn email messages and whatnot. So if you want to buy something, we really are not looking for giving somebody our phone number or email address. We're actually talking to our peers in the industry. And in order to turn that into a business, that's what the AI natives have natively done very well.
Yeah, because the buying journey is changing, right? Or I guess like going from checking out a company to actually buying. Like, what do you think? Like you mentioned, AI native companies are doing it differently and doing it well. What do they do differently, and how do you see the journey changing in 2026?
Yeah, what they do differently is that they are more responsive. One of the key challenges that SaaS companies have is that when they win a deal, they treat that as a customer logo. They don't treat that as a group of users. They hang the logo on the wall. They put it on their slide. They report it in the board meeting, and they report back, we have won this amount of customers. What's the average contract value? If you compare that to an AI native, they think about usage patterns. What's the average revenue per user? What is the logging patterns? Are they logging in every day? What are the habits that they have? That is a very different approach, and that approach is way more successful than the approach. The way that I often compare SaaS natives, most of your buyers and champions and deciders are actually not the users of the product. Compare that to AI natives, that most of the users actually are the deciders and the champions of the product. And that is a reason why we see such an accelerated level of growth from AI natives.
Yeah, and in the end, like they help users to get to the outcome, to the value a lot quicker often. Like that is AI native, right? Where you minimize all the work you have to do within a tool. Like how do you then see pricing change? Like will it go more towards value-based, outcome-based instead of, I guess, like team user-based?
Yeah, the pricing is still not set. I think that when you're a younger company, earlier on in your development cycle, like usage-based pricing is a fantastic way to disrupt the market. I don't necessarily think that is where bigger companies want to go. They need that level of commitment, 12-month commitment. The level of churn that you're exposed to when you're to a usage-based contract is just too risky for a large-scale company. And so, it doesn't mean that there is not some room for it occasionally, or that there's a partial, that there should be a product that has an element to it. The bigger challenge that we see AI natives have in comparison is actually the result of that. AI natives have what they call inference costs, and the inference costs they are the Achilles heel. Like if you're an AI native and you're giving away a freemium product, That is very risky because if it takes off, you can't afford it. Right now, if you have lots of money of funding, you can at least build that wave and then you have to turn monetization on later on. But as we all know, turning a freemium customer into a paid customer is the hardest conversion rate in the business.
Yeah, so that was going to be one of my questions. Like, will freemium still exist, I guess, in 2026 with all the AI native tools coming out and the cost rising?
It is a fair question and I don't think we have an answer for that yet.
No, like we heard before today already, like you might want to then limit the amount of things they can do within the app, so they can't increase all the cost. Is that something like you would recommend? So at least you can bring them in, give them some kind of value, and then from there they can grow.
So what you want to see is the following, okay? And look, the pricing, there's nothing new in usage-based pricing or consumption-based. We shouldn't treat it as if it's something new. Folks, we've been paying a quarter for our telephone for the longest time, right? And after cell phones and minute plans and whatnot, right, which it was popular for a long time, but as soon as the market got established, we're all back on subscription-based pricing. So let's not think that this is new and, no, this is not new. That doesn't mean that there's not an application for it, but it's consumption-based pricing is a highly specialized tool which only applies to a very, very few companies and shouldn't be used randomly. Subscription-based pricing is still the better way to go, whether it serves an AI product, a SaaS product, or nowadays they are combined, so an AI SaaS product.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, for example, the Intercom model where they have a subscription fee and they still charge for the resolutions done via their support bot.
Exactly right. Well, where you see, for example, the other day I'm driving through the car wash. I have a membership on a car wash, right? And then whatever, let's say I pay $30 a month, and you can get your car washed as often as you want. Like, really practical example. Look, if you're that provider, do you really want to go back to a paper? No, you don't. Right? And so we need to be very thoughtful about what we want to do with the subscription-based pricing and where we're going. And we need to apply it accordingly. Still, there are exciting developments in consumption and usage-based and outcome-based pricing. There are exciting things of it, but it's part of the pricing strategy. It's not the entire strategy in itself.
Yeah. And when we look in 2026, like a lot of companies also talk about efficiency, efficient growth. Like, how do you see the balance, I guess, like focusing on growth and efficiency in 2026? Yeah.
Obviously, we've been from early on a big proponent of efficient growth, and we even have reported many times on what we call GTM efficiency, the amount of dollars required to generate $1 of growth. And just to give you an idea, SaaS product, consumption-based pricing model, subscription-based, it all comes down to this. The total amount of cost that you spend on acquisition, you need to have approximately 5 times that money back over the lifetime of a customer. Okay, so if you spend $2 to acquire a customer and the customer stays for 3 years, you need to make sure that you approximately, do that times 5, $2 times 5, $10, you get that back. Well, that's consumption subscription-based pricing. That generally means that you need to retain your customer for quite a while, okay? And in order to do that, you got to deliver outcome. Again, nothing new down here, okay? If you start thinking about it all the time, what is an outdated model right now is that we go out, raise funds, and we create a company that has a high valuation that then monetizes through some funding round, or which is used to signal the alpha nature of the CEO of that company. Like, that's gone, right? Like, all the other things still apply. You got to make your customer successful.
It's exactly that. You need to build a business where people can actually get the outcome they want, get the value they want, and then from there you can grow however you want.
Exactly right. What AI does really well, helps us, is what we should apply, what we should deploy AI, and what it does really well is gather knowledge on what is the customer really like from our product, what do they want more of, and where do I find more customers like it. It's as simple as that.
Are you already running an affiliate or referral program, but it's not really driving growth? Reditus is the affiliate and referral platform built exclusively for B2B SaaS, combining an in-app referral program, an affiliate network of over 20,000 SaaS affiliates, and AI-powered recruitment that finds new relevant affiliates for you. Migrate for free with our white glove service. Affiliates can keep their link, and you can start managing both programs from one single place. With tracking, payouts, and fraud detection all handled for you, you can start building a scalable growth channel that compounds without high upfront cost. Want to learn more? Check out getreditus.com. And I think the last episode we did was also we talked about AI agents. Like, how do you look at things now? Like, will AI start replacing people, or will it start enabling people to do their job better?
Both. These things, of course, will happen both. Look, AI will replace people, is replacing people, has replaced people. This thought that it won't happen and that, like, no, folks, this is really this is undeniably impacting the workforce on a large scale. Undeniably. What I, however, like to think is that we should have made this adjustment a long time ago, and we have for far too long have deployed human capacity in things that they were never meant to do. Like, look, we built here in the Netherlands, we built the canal from IJmuiden to Amsterdam, right? That was done by hand, most of it. I saw the documentary the other day. That was done by hand, okay? Like, do we think that when we dig a new canal the same size, we're going to use human labor for that? Of course not. We're going to use machines. Like, so yes, this is changing the industry, people, but it's fine. We're going to get digging equipment. Look, also, this is not the first time we run into this. We keep forgetting we have run into this. As the head of technical or digital sales, with special effects, we ran into this. Special effects replaced actors, and I saw the other day one of the famous movies, I forgot what it was again. And a horse is jumping off a train, right? And Lawrence of Arabia. When in Lawrence of Arabia, a horse jumps off a train, I'm telling you, there was a human being that sat on the horse that made them jump off. This is real, right? Yeah, today we wouldn't do that any longer, right? Today it would be special effects. So we lost a lot of actors in that role, right? And now we have in those days we played it with special effects and a whole new industry, special effects industries, and then that's a whole sub-industries, okay? And they all went to work there. That's going to happen again.
Yeah. So there's a lot of changes coming, and I guess with change also a lot of challenges will come. So when we look at, I guess, like having the new go-to-market motion with a lot of AI involved and maybe replacing, like, what do you think are going to be the challenges for SaaS companies?
Okay, so I'll go back to an earlier statement I made about a year ago, and that said is that in 2025, 70% of the tasks would be questionable replaced by AI. Now, why did I, and sometimes it got translated wrong that I said like 70% of the sellers would be replaced by AI. No, that will happen, but it will take more time. But 70% of the activities of a field salesperson, things such as entering your CRM data, expense reports, scheduling, follow-through, summaries, like go down that list, should never be performed by a human being in the first place, right? Like taking a picture of your receipt, like writing a code on it and stuff like that should all happen automatically. We have a tendency to focus on the 70% that gets replaced by AI. And our nature is to feel threatened by that, okay? We should look at the 30% that we still need. And what are the 30%? Human beings still want to meet with each other. When you meet with an expert, you still want to have expert advice. When you go to a restaurant, of course you can look up the 17 different kind of wines and you can ask your AI system what is the best wine. You can get that, okay? But when the waiter comes and says, hey, I see you're eating a fish, and you go like, which one of the wines do you suggest to go with the fish? You're still going to listen to You're going to listen to your AI system, yes, but the waiter still gives the expert advice. As simple as that example is, we're going to see the same thing in business.
Yeah, that's interesting because we are an affiliate program and we, for example, turn users into advocates. So still, I guess, like people will buy on recommendations of others, even though they have all the information available.
That is exactly right. And so the role then is, what is the human-to-human interaction needed for, right? And most of the time, that interaction, we think it has to do something with trust. It isn't. So let me give you an example why it isn't trust and why that is a misunderstanding. Trust, if trust is based on the accuracy of an answer, then that trust comes better from an AI system. If trust is coming from a comprehensive answer, then an AI system is going to win. Going down that list, so what is trust really? Trust comes down to, if this doesn't work out the way I'd hope it would, will you back me up and will you come and either give me my money back or help me make it work or something like that? That's what trust, that's what we mean with trust. And that is, for that, we want the human-to-human connection. We want to make sure, like, hey, will you bail me out if this goes sideways on me?
Yeah, nice. If you could rebuild a go-to-market motion for a company from scratch in 2026, what would you do?
Fully automated with experts. I would codify 5 or 6 key moments in the journey where I want the customer to have a fantastic experience. 1 or 2 of them will be AI related, fantastic summary, instant response, and so on and so forth. And some of them are codified around fantastic human behavior, such as make in-person human experiences part of the customer journey. Where today, maybe inviting a customer to an event, it doesn't happen that automatically. It should be codified in the journey. What is of interest is that we see that today customers have very little problems attending a conference and meeting with their suppliers at their conference. That is not an issue. That's almost presumed normal. And that allows, that gives us something big to build on for the future.
Nice. We're going to start wrapping things up. Final 3 questions. What do you think is going to be one growth loop SaaS companies would definitely have to use within 2026?
The understanding of the way how your customers are using their product, and the use of those usage patterns to secure a new pipeline.
Nice. And how would you do that, as in to secure a new pipeline? Like, what do you mean with that?
Word of mouth and advocacy are closely related down here. So we want to make sure that and this is nothing new. It sounds like, oh my God, this is a new program. No, folks, this is exactly how Marketo became successful in the years, and Eloqua and whatnot. But we have lost it. So if I explain to you what we've lost, and therefore when I suggest what we do to recapture it, it seems to be a more natural thing. So what we've lost is, in 2012 and 13, we had naturally usage pattern-based behavior. We naturally, when we went to Eloqua, we went to Eloqua conferences and Marketo conferences, and then we learned from other users what they did and so on. Post that, we got the Outreach Sales Lofts sequencing based, which created the shortcut for several years on to create pipeline. So we took that shortcut. If we had continued on the journey, we would have been already in a sustainable and in a durable approach to GTM. But we took that side cut, and that side cut was SEO is another part of that, right? So we took just invest a little bit in SEO, just deploy more SDRs powered by Outreach, Sales Loft, and whatnot tools, and they will help you scale. We overdid that. And so we now need to correct that, and that is where you'll see users need to talk to users. It can be at a user conference, can be at an online conference. What Clay did the other day, in which people on LinkedIn are sharing their best practices of Clay, that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nice. Turning your users into advocates and creating pipeline.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example of an SDR. Instead of deploying SDRs on a nurture database, why not deploy SDRs on users and help them become more successful? Yeah. And enable your customers to say great positive things about you.
Nice. Final 2 questions. You answered these before already. What kind of advice would you give a SaaS founder who's just starting out and growing to 10K monthly recurring revenue?
Build the data system build a real-time data system. Make sure that you have that right, because it's really costly and problematic to fix that later on.
Any recommendations, I guess? Because it sounds big, right? Like, where do they start? Like, what should they do as a minimum?
Get a real good infrastructure provider, like something like Snowflake that provides from the get-go a real-time data lake.
Nice. Let's assume we passed 10K MRR and we're growing a big step towards 10 million ARR. What kind of advice would you give SaaS founders here?
Understand that the way your team operates amongst each other is a reflection of the closed loops. If the people on the team are not communicating with each other, if there's discrepancy, if marketing doesn't talk to sales, if customer success is not part of the customer journey, and so on and so forth, an integral part, right? Not just show up on a meeting, but the way how your team operates is a reflection of how your system operates.
And is that then aligned to the goals you're going to set per team? Like, how would you make sure that they will work together?
They need to make sure that they understand the system they operate. Most of the time, there's not a common understanding of how the system operates. We think they know, but they're not. Let me explain something like this. When you come out of school, but you never had professional running training, right? You would expect that every human being would run the same because it's a natural gift that we've been given. It's not. As a former runner, I can tell you, running needs to be trained. You need to be learning on track how to run. You need to learn form. We expect that everybody has received that training. Very few people have. And so who then says that they can interoperate with each other? They do not have a common understanding how recurring revenue works. Understanding recurring revenue is based on scientific principles. I can round up 1,000 executives, and I'll bet you that the lion's share, and I don't even want to embarrass the world that we live in, but the super large amount has a misperception of where growth comes from and how it works.
Buy your book, and they can read a lot more about it. Thank you. If we want to get in contact with you, Jacco, what would be the best way?
In order to help people get educated, we launched what we call the Growth Institute. And that's a $2,500 annual subscription. Sorry for the sales pitch, but it's because it is such a valid tool right now. It allows everybody to get classes on the topic, to attend events on the topic, to be part of a community on the topic. And what we just added this year as well is quarterly case studies, where you get a real hands-on case study. Most executives today have only one shot at learning how to do things at the current company, they need more reps on that. And so we're adding 4 reps a year, 4 repetitions a year of looking into other people's case studies and learning from that.
Where can they find it?
winningbydesign.com. You'll click on Growth Institute and it will have all the answers and all the cool shots that you need.
Nice. Thanks for coming on, Jacco.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me, and to the listeners out there, never forget, it is a fantastic time in the life that we're living. Enjoy.
Thank you for watching this show of the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. You made it till the end, so I think we can assume you liked this content. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, feel free to reach out if you want to sponsor the show, if you have a specific guest in mind, if you have a specific topic you want us to cover, reach out to me on LinkedIn. More than happy to take a look at it. If you want to know more about Reditus, feel free to reach out as well. But for now, have a great day and good luck growing your B2B SaaS.